In 2015, Alexander Rossi was the only American driver to race in Formula One since Scott Speed in 2007. He was given the opportunity to drive in 5 rounds in the second half of the season with the Manor Marussia team while competing full-time in GP2 series. And despite finishing second in the GP2 standings, Rossi failed to secure a F1 contract for 2016 and returned to America to race full-time in IndyCar. And for the next 7 years, there would be no American driver in Formula One, and finally in 2023, a young driver emerged onto the scene with a name as quintessentially American as fireworks on the 4th of July. So let's take a look at Logan's racing journey so far and what the future holds for him. Logan was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in the year 2000. His father, Daniel Sargeant, is a businessman who owns a company named Sargeant Marine Incorporated that specializes in the transportation of asphalt products through chartered vessels. Let's just say the company doesn't have a spotless reputation. They've been involved in some questionable activities in the past. His uncle, Harry Sargeant III, also operates multi-billion-dollar conglomerates comprising aviation companies and oil trading operations. And he's not exactly known for having the cleanest record either. You can check out RPM's bit for more info on that. It's too good and totally worth it. Anyway, moving on. Logan began karting at the age of 7, showing exceptional promise from the start. In his first year, he secured 3rd place in both regional and national championships. When Logan was 12, he and his family relocated to Switzerland for him to compete in more prestigious European karting series. In 2015, he won the CIK FIA Karting World Championship, besting competitors like Klemen Novalak, Felipe Drugovich, and Christian Lundgaard. Fair to say, he had quite an impressive karting record. In 2016, Logan made the leap from karting to compete in the Formula 4 UAE Championship. Representing Team Motopark, he found himself alongside teammate Jonathan Aberdeen. Jonathan clinched the title that season, demonstrating absolute dominance on the track, while Logan finished second. In 2017, Logan joined Carlin to compete in the British Formula 4 Championship. Despite the tight field, Logan secured a commendable 3rd place in the standings, trailing behind his teammate Jamie Caroline and Oscar Piastri. It's worth noting that Jamie had the advantage of experience, as it was his 2nd season in British F4. Nevertheless, Logan's performance was pretty solid, with 2 wins and 8 podium finishes under his belt. In 2018, Logan entered the Formula Renault Euro Cup and secured a respectable 4th place in the standings, while his teammate Max Futrell clinched the championship. It was Max's 2nd year in the series, so clearly he was going to have a slight edge over the others. Logan managed to outperform 2 of his other teammates though, Victor Martins and Charles Mallacy, both of whom were formidable competitors, particularly Victor Martins. In 2019, Logan entered the Formula 3 Championship with Carlin Buzz Racing. Unfortunately, Carlin wasn't competitive that season, which kind of sounds funny given that it's a spec series. However, the harsh truth is that factors like budget, skilled engineers, mechanics, and strategists can significantly impact performance in such series. Logan finished 19th in the standings, just 3 points behind his teammate Felipe Drugovich, but ahead of his other teammate, Tepe Nattori. In addition to his Formula 3 campaign, Logan also took part in the Macau Grand Prix, where he achieved an impressive 3rd place podium finish on one of the most notorious street circuits in the world. For 2020, Sargeant remained in Formula 3 but made a team switch, joining the reigning champions Prema Racing. His new teammates included Oscar Piastri and Frederick Vesti, while the grid also featured notable competitors like Theo Pourchaire, Liam Lawson, and Richard Verschoor. Going into the final round, both Logan and Oscar were tied on points, setting the stage for a championship showdown. In the race, Logan faced every racing driver's worst fear. Contact on the opening lap with Laurent Zendelli effectively ended his race. Meanwhile, Piastri went on to finish in 7th place to clinch the championship. Adding insult to injury, Theo Pourchaire's 3rd place finish in the race propelled him to 2nd place in the championship standings, pushing Sargeant down to 3rd. It was a bitter pill to swallow for Logan, with the championship snatched away in the cruelest of fashions. In 2021, the natural progression for Sargeant would have been to move up to Formula 2. However, due to financial constraints, he was unable to make that leap. Just to give you an idea, racing for a season in Formula 2 costs around $3 million. It's a hefty price tag, and without strong sponsorship or family wealth, breaking into the series is nearly impossible. This financial barrier is why many talented young drivers never get the chance to compete at this level. What's particularly striking is that despite being one of the most successful young American drivers, Sargeant struggled to secure enough sponsorship to support his junior career. It underscores just how challenging it is to progress through the classes of motorsport, even for a karting world champion. Anyway, Logan found himself in a position where he felt he had to essentially give up on his dream and considered returning home to America. He weighed his options, contemplating a shift to either sports car racing or IndyCar. In the end, however, he decided to give Formula 3 another shot. Participating in the pre-season F3 test for the Strauss Racing team, Logan made quite an impression. So much so that the team announced him as their driver for the 2021 season at the last minute. It's worth noting that Strauss Racing had finished last in the standings in 2020, scoring just 5 points while the champions Prema had amassed a whopping 470 points. Clearly, it was a significant step down for Sargeant from his previous team. Given the circumstances, expectations for Logan's performance were relatively low. However, he defied all odds and proved everyone wrong. Not only did he start scoring podiums, but he also secured a remarkable victory in Russia, giving Strauss their first win in F3. By the end of the season, Logan had secured a strong 7th place in the standings, contributing 102 of the team's 127 points. That season, Sargeant caught the attention of many people, and soon after, Williams signed him to their Drivers Academy program. With Williams' support, Sargeant had the opportunity to advance to Formula 2. Towards the end of 2021, it was revealed that Sargeant would join Carlin for the 2022 F2 season alongside Liam Lawson. The goal for Sargeant was clear: to secure a top 6 finish in the championship, earning enough super license points to qualify for F1. He achieved back-to-back feature race victories at Silverstone and the Red Bull Ring, along with several podium finishes. In the end, he finished 4th overall, just 1 point behind his teammate Liam Lawson. It seemed like his dream was finally within reach. His 4th place finish ensured he had enough super license points to compete in F1, and following the race weekend in Abu Dhabi, Sargeant was officially announced as a Williams race driver for the 2023 F1 season. Now let's talk about Logan's rookie F1 season. At Williams, Logan found himself partnered with Alex Albon, who wasn't going to make Sargeant's life easy. Alex had consistently outqualified Nicholas Latifi throughout 2022, showcasing a newfound composure and maturity compared to his Red Bull days. With such a formidable teammate, Logan knew he was in for a challenging year ahead. As a rookie, his main aim was to get comfortable with the car, learn the tracks, avoid making too many costly mistakes, and ideally, secure some points whenever possible. However, Williams wasn't a team that used to fight for points regularly. They finished last in the constructors' standings in 2022 with just 8 points. Fortunately, in 2023, Williams had developed a slippery car, one with really good straight line speed. This meant that tracks with long straights presented their best opportunities to score points. The season got off to a decent start for Logan, with a 16th place qualifying and a 12th place finish in Bahrain. However, it was a bumpy ride from that point onward. He struggled to get to grips with the car, made quite a few mistakes, and also faced some technical issues.
And Sargeant did not stop for turn 1 either.
And Sargeant finds the barriers.
Sargeant's up.
Sargeant off into the gravel.
He scored his first point in Austin when Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc were disqualified after the race. With this achievement, Sargeant became the first American driver to score a point in Formula 1 in 30 years. His best qualifying result of the season came in Vegas, where he secured 7th place on the grid. Throughout the entire season, he was outqualified by Alex, both in races and qualifying sessions. While Alex finished 13th in the standings with 27 points, Logan trailed behind in 21st place with just 1 point. Now, coming to the question, how did Logan perform in his rookie year in F1? I would say it wasn't the best rookie season, but it certainly wasn't the worst either. Look, it wouldn't be fair to pass judgment on him just yet. Adapting to an F1 car is no easy feat, and some drivers simply take a bit longer to adjust. The biggest challenge for Sargeant last year was his qualifying performance. He struggled to put together a strong one-lap pace. This, I believe, was the primary factor holding him back throughout the season. The Williams car wasn't particularly strong in terms of overtaking, but securing a higher grid position made it much harder for other cars to pass. If you scrutinise last season closely, you'll notice that even Alex, despite starting higher on the grid, often slipped back during races. The Williams lacked the race pace to move forward and often found itself defending against cars from behind. However, Alex excelled in races where he managed to hold on to strong points by effectively defending his position. I believe that if Sargeant had improved his qualifying performance and started races further up the grid, like Alex, he would have been able to score more points. So Logan definitely needs to focus on enhancing his qualifying one-lap pace. At the end of 2023, Williams extended Logan's contract for 2024, showcasing their faith in him. However, this season so far, Sargeant again appears to be facing challenges in qualifying. In Bahrain, he qualified 18th, followed by 19th in Saudi Arabia and Japan. Starting further down the grid makes it challenging to advance in a slower car like the Williams. This season, Williams doesn't appear to enjoy the same advantage in straight line pace as it did last year. Thus far, they haven't managed to secure any points in the first 4 races. The team also appears to be grappling with financial challenges, leading to a reduced number of spare parts in inventory. They can't afford costly mistakes on the track that result in extensive damage to the car, as was pretty evident during the third round of the season. In Australia, Logan's car was given to Alex to maximise the opportunity to score points, as Alex had damaged his chassis in a crash during free practice. So Logan had to sit on the sidelines that weekend. Was it a fair decision? Well, I'm somewhat torn on the matter. While I understand the driver's perspective that it might not be fair for one driver to bear the consequences of their teammate's mistake, you also have to consider the team's perspective. Williams is desperate for points, having failed to score any so far, and Alex seemed to have a better chance of scoring points based on his greater experience. So I can see why the team felt compelled to make such a difficult decision and gambled on Alex. It might make the driver feel like they are playing second fiddle to their teammate, but I don't think Logan should view that Australian weekend in that light and just focus on himself and prepare for the upcoming races. The season is long, actually the longest in F1 history, and he'll have his chances. In last weekend's Japanese Grand Prix, he crashed during practice, which again wasn't great news for the team. Fortunately, the team managed to rebuild his car. On Sunday, he was having a decent race and overtaking cars, but then on lap 42, he made a mistake going into turn 9 and went off track, which basically dropped him to last. Now on to the real question, how does the future look for Sargeant? And it's a tough one to answer. If he doesn't show improvement this year and isn't competitive with Alex on track, it's going to be a hard decision for Williams to retain him for 2025. The midfield competition is fierce, and with the top 5 teams so far ahead, scoring points is very challenging for the midfielders. Williams needs both drivers fighting for points, and while Alex is performing impressively, they'd expect similar results from Logan. While I'm rooting for Sargeant, considering his success in junior categories, I believe he has the potential to excel in F1 as well. If he starts competing closer to the top of the midfield this year, I think Williams would be more than happy to continue with him. We wish him the best of luck for the remainder of this season, as it's shaping up to be a crucial one for Logan's F1 career. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more F1 content. If you'd like to support this channel, join the membership and get access to exclusive perks. And I'll see you guys in the next video.